One of the candidates running for the House of Representatives that I've taken a real liking to, given his heroism, selflessness, his conservatism, his love of country and family, is Brian Mast, who's running in Florida against a very wealthy man who used to be Republican, became a Democrat, and has made a fortune off of natural disasters, in my view, charging enormous amounts of money to the taxpayers when they can least afford it, and who is spending a fortune on TV ads and other smear platforms against Brian Mast. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well, sir. You are correct. He is spending a fortune against me, and he's going to learn on November 8th that it's going to be the worst investment he's ever made of his life. He's down 7 points as we speak, and we're looking forward to expanding that as we get closer to the end of this race.
I mean, he said to you in a debate that you should stand up like a man. Did he not say that to you?
He said that to me in a forum. He was trying to make a joke about a guy who lost 2 legs in Afghanistan, and I can tell you, I'm a big boy. He can say whatever he wants. He's not going to ruffle my feathers. It takes more than what he has to try and knock me off my game. But it is very distasteful for have somebody like him who would disrespect our veterans by saying, I'm not man enough to stand up to him because I don't have legs. That is very distasteful, without a question.
I think the guy's off his rocker. I really think the guy's off his rocker. He buys himself a nomination. He wants to buy himself a congressional seat, and all he does is try and smear you. What does he offer the people of the district, other than more cronyism?
Yeah, he offers this country bankruptcy. I don't know if you got the chance to take a look at the debate we had last night, but not only did he talk about numerous times the need to print more money, but he said it about 3 times that we should print more money because we're in debt. Print more money so that we can do these things and that things. And that was he was saying this was a solution for people that have to worry about Social Security, that we should print more money and be party to inflation. The man has no clue about economics whatsoever. He thinks we need $15 an hour minimum wage. He thinks we should have open borders. He's essentially a doormat for Hillary Clinton.
Now, you say you're 7 points ahead. Is this an internal poll or a public poll?
This was an internal poll, a very reputable internal poll that came out that we are up 7 points on him right now, which is a good improvement, especially when we consider, exactly as you said, how much he is spending on this race. He is dumping millions of dollars compared to our, couple $100,000 in this race. And the fact that he's going to be sent packing on November 8th is something that I'm going to take a great deal of joy in, especially given his demeanor and his actions.
If people want to help you to try and not even up, just give you a fighting chance on the TV ads, where do they go?
If they want to help me, they go to my website. It's mastforcongress.com, mastforcongress.com, and we appreciate the support. It matters. I'm going to go up there, and I'm going to fight the way that people need to fight for this country. When I was serving on the battlefield, that's where I learned how you fight for America, and I learned it because of the friends that I lost in our theaters of war. And I actually say this as one of the biggest inspirations that I think I could say to anybody. I've lost a lot of friends in our theaters of war, and what's so inspiring about that is the fact that none of these service members left this world doing what was best for themselves. They didn't pass away because they were trying to become wealthy or famous or important or anything else. They left this world as heroes that were serving their brothers to their left and right and serving the values of the United States of America. And that's how you serve this country, whether you want to be president, vice president, a member of the Senate, a member of the House. You better serve this country without regard for any personal gain or personal sacrifice. It's the only way to do it.
And you're running against this guy, Perkins. Have the liberal newspapers in your district, of which there are many, endorsed him?
Yes, the Palm Beach Post recently endorsed him. They gave him, I can tell you when I went through this editorial board, they asked me questions that were slanted to begin with, where they said things like, well, when you go up there, how do you expect to get things done when every member of Congress has been completely unwilling to work with Barack Obama whatsoever? And they slanted questions in the worst possible ways. So I knew going into it that they weren't going to give me their endorsement, but I sat through it and I made sure to fight against them anyway.
That newspaper really does despise vets. I mean, they went after Alan West, and now they go after you. They have a pattern here, don't they?
Well, they endorsed a candidate who, as we already talked about, he said I wasn't man enough to stand up to him because I don't have legs. He asked, and this is something that I addressed in my opening remarks of our recent debate, he said, what about military service qualifies anybody to run for Congress? And I think if you have to ask that question, you're never going to understand.
That's incredible.
Yeah, well, I made sure to let him know that I think above all what qualifies any veteran is this, it's that our sense of duty to America will always be more important than our life itself. And if that's not something that qualifies somebody, I'm afraid I don't know what is.
And what qualifies a leech who makes a massive amount of money off of natural disasters, and in some cases he's been accused of overcharging? What makes him a leader?
Nothing makes him a leader. It's ego that gives him what he thinks gives him the right to go out and run for the seat. It's pure ego. He feels as though the dollars that he's been able to garner from taxpayers, to which he's essentially half a billionaire as a result of taxpayer dollars, he thinks that gives him the right to go out there and try to be somebody that can serve with integrity, which he's anything but.
Yeah, just what we need. Another guy worth $500 million who rejects capitalism, who earned his money, in my humble opinion, mine, as a crony capitalist, off the horrors and devastation of others through the taxpayer. Gee, he'll be just great in Washington. He'll know exactly what to do, won't he?
Well, I think, I spoke already about his willingness to be a doormat for Hillary Clinton. He wanted to make a great deal of our debate all about the conversation of choice and didn't want to speak anything about life. And when I posed the question to him that he is probably the most extreme person that could exist when he believes in things like partial birth abortion and third trimester abortion, he didn't have a word to say in response. But that is the kind of person that we're talking about here, somebody that does not value life, that doesn't value the service on the battlefield, that doesn't value the work of somebody's hands and thinks that we should tax them more, that doesn't value people's ability to go out there and succeed on their own merits, but thinks that the federal government should be going out there and telling people what kind of wage has to be paid by employers. He's the wrong kind of person to be leading in Washington.
Is he still obsessing over me, by the way?
Oh, absolutely. He's still running commercials constantly about you and about the fact that you and I are friends. But I think he doesn't necessarily get the idea of smearing. That if he wants to smear me, he should try to associate me with somebody who I would have a problem with him associating.
Well, hopefully that's helping you in some parts of the 18th. I know it's hurting you in some parts, too. But I'll tell you, I was down in the district over the weekend checking on my parents and my home with my Julie, and we were there. And despite those hurricane-type winds and so forth, you had signs everywhere. That was a very good thing. He didn't have as many signs as you did on the A1A and so forth.
No, there's a passion, there's a groundswell going on the ground to support my campaign. It has been incredible. I cannot thank people enough for the support that they've given me throughout the district, throughout the nation, whether it's people going out there and putting up signs, people that are volunteering, people that are making calls for my campaign, people that are sending in contributions and helping with their resources so that we can have commercials and things like that out there, helping us fight this fight. I realize this is one of the most important things I learned in the military. Many hands make light work, and winning this race is being made entirely possible by the community of people that are out there helping me to win this race. And I couldn't be more grateful to everybody for the way that they've rallied around me.
Well, I want to strongly encourage people to get out and vote for you. I know there's early voting going on right now. Brian Mast, you would be a superb member of the House of Representatives. So God bless you and good luck. That's Mast, M-A-S-T, for Congress.com, correct?
That's correct, sir, and God bless you as well. I appreciate the time and the opportunity to get to know you and the shared values that we have, and especially our shared support for Israel. Really, it's been a joy.
Well, God bless you, man, and I look forward to seeing you sworn in. Take care of yourself.
Thank you, sir.